Welcome back, everybody, to the channel. Today, we're going to be watching some Desmond King film. Over the past couple of days, I feel like I've watched 6 or 7 Houston Texans defensive game tapes, put a full scouting report up on SteelersNow.com, but realized I had so many clips that I could probably also make a YouTube video. So here we are. So new Steelers cornerback, Desmond King, going to show you guys, strengths, weaknesses, kind of a little bit about the scheme that he was playing in Houston and how I think he's going to be able to help the Steelers defense this upcoming season. Y'all know the deal. Just before we get started, please make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel. If this kind of stuff is your vibe, I appreciate y'all. Let's get to it. So Desmond King. King played last year, the first half of the season. He was their slot corner, which is really where he's played the majority of his snaps over the course of his NFL career, but then transitioned to outside corner once injuries kind of started taking place. And I kind of have this video split up into different sections just to kind of show you guys his complete skill set. But one of the things about King, man, is he is a very, very good run defender. Honestly, one of the better slot corners in the league, in my opinion, about playing the run. Here he is as the contained player. The Dolphins are working crack toss. You see him do a good job maintaining that outside leverage, making the tackle on the running back on the perimeter. This play is working in the slot. The Broncos are going to do kind of a jet motion pre-snap. They're running duo up front, but you notice their wide receiver kind of comes in late, tries to crack block him. Immediately just kind of slides past him with the swim move and then makes the tackle on, I believe this is Melvin Gordon, maybe in space. But King's a very willing tackler. He's also a capable tackler. He's got a pretty good frame on him for a cornerback. They list him about 200 pounds. If you remember King coming out of Iowa, there were some people saying that he was probably going to transition to safety just because of, how physical he was, how he played the game. Another example here down in the red zone, this was to get the Texans off the field, actually, against the Cowboys. I believe this is 4th and goal. King just kind of slices in here to the backfield and meets Ezekiel Elliott. And then, just kind of waits for his teammates a little bit right there. But so as a run defender, King does a lot of the same stuff that, Mike Hilton used to do for the Steelers. The Steelers always kind of have that one guy, whether it's, Mike Hilton, Arthur Millette. This year they've got Elijah Riley, guys like that are kind of at their best going forward to the line of scrimmage. And King can do a lot of that stuff in terms of playing near the line of scrimmage and helping you defend the run out of those sub packages. But something that King has always been really good at is blitzing the quarterback, which is something that, the Steelers like to give their slot corners the ability to blitz. And this is actually a skill set that really wasn't utilized very much in Houston. He only blitzed about a dozen times or something like that last season just because of, their scheme and different things like that. But one of the things I appreciate about King is, he's a pretty capable blitzer. He can disguise some things and, get into the backfield. This is a really good example here, just showing his football intelligence. The Texans are trying to draw up kind of a creeper pressure right here. He's going to actually move this defensive end and widen his alignment. And the reason he's doing that is because he understands that the Texans are in this double A-gap mug blitz with the 2 linebackers right over the center. He understands that the way that the offensive line is going to slide, if he moves that defensive end further outside, he's going to have a wide open void to get to the quarterback. And you see it actually plays out like that. The linebacker ends up occupying the right guard, and Kings ends up coming untouched and lays a kind of kill shot here, honestly, on Matt Ryan. Credit to Ryan for sticking in there and hitting this kind of stick route. But, that's some of the stuff that King can do. He understands angles. He understands blocking, protections, and things like that. So here was one of the probably best outcomes that I saw last year of him actually blitzing the quarterback. He's going to come on kind of a creeper pressure here against the Tennessee Titans out of the slot. And, his pressure kind of helps create a turnover in a sense. So see, he's trying to kind of disguise this. He's lined up originally over the slot receiver with Jalen Petrie kind of capping his man. Right before the snap, going to kind of start walking towards the line of scrimmage. They're in kind of a play action. They're kind of trying to hit this kind of bang route or bang 8 to the top of the field. But one-on-one, Desmond King against a running back, that's an opportunity for him, to get pressure on the quarterback. And, like I mentioned, kind of his physicality, some of the things that he can do, rushing the passer, you can kind of use him as a little bit of a weapon to put some pressure on the quarterback and to do some more creative stuff. And in my opinion, this was something that the Texans probably should have leaned into more last year to create some more havoc on defense. Their defense, in my opinion, was kind of stagnant. They could have better weaponized, his skill set. But again, right there, you see King do a good job using his hands. Nice play strength to kind of deconstruct that block pretty quickly and get pressure on the quarterback. So, in case you missed it, yesterday I did post a full film room on Desmond King. A lot of these same thoughts, but there was a full Jacksonville Jaguars game breakdown. So if y'all want to check that out, go to SteelersNow.com. But I had to include this because it was like probably my favorite play that I've seen of King. I just think it really highlights what he does well on defense. And King has exceptional zone awareness. And that's something that I really appreciate about his game. He has a really unique feel on not just the spacing, but just he feels route concepts developing, not just in front of him, but behind him. He has excellent anticipation. Just a very, very smart football player. And I think that you can tell he studies a lot of film, man, because he will read stuff even before they actually end up happening. So this is actually a 4th and 3 with the Jaguars running trips to the left side, which is where he's at. Initially, you see that they're playing Tampa 2 coverage. So the middle linebacker here is going to carry the number 3 receiver vertically. And King is kind of responsible for this hook, this vertical hook zone, right? So even though they have an under route coming underneath of him at the sticks, he does a good job, reading the quarterback's eyes, watching Trevor Lawrence. And he still, even though this receiver, has already kind of vacated him or passed him up, he still has a really good feel for where he's at, even, with his head turned. And he feels that kind of bang route. I guess they're kind of running like what I would call his levels concept, but you could see him get his hands on the football right here. Awesome job to get his defense off the field. The Texans defense, I said this on Twitter yesterday, they probably play more cover 2 than I have ever seen in my life. It was unbelievable how much Tampa or cover 2 that they played on film. And I looked it up, and Sports Info Solutions had them as number 1 in the league by far. So they're a heavy zone coverage team. They very rarely played any bit of man-to-man. But King, here he is working as the cover 2 corner to the top of the screen. Really like this just from a technical perspective. He's going to kind of do what I call like kind of a hinge technique. And he's going to walk up late, and he's playing basically inside leverage, wanting to force this receiver, flat to the sideline. And then he's going to continue to get depth with his back to the sideline and kind of like a hinge technique. So right here, he's just looking at Prescott and kind of reading his shoulders. Is he going to try to kind of hit that honey hole shot up the sideline in between the corner and the safety, or is he going to check this down to the flat? And you can just watch King's reaction time and just understanding of spacing and where he needs to be. Watch how quickly he throttles towards the running back and lays just a booming hit right there. It's an awesome play. Again, just over and over on tape, I feel like he's just constantly in good position. He puts himself where he needs to be in order to get his hands on the football, or in order to, take the first read in the progression away. And I think that that's something that is an asset to really, any defense. Having smart football players, especially in the slot, that can read the direction of multiple receivers is always a good thing. So here's another cover 2 rep, or I should say Tampa 2. This is against Russell Wilson and the Broncos. This is a 3rd and I think 8 or 10. And the Broncos are basically trying to run a cover 2 beater. This is what I would call kind of like a spot and bang route combination. So they're trying to get this tight end or number 3 receiver to kind of sit at the sticks and run this kind of bang 8 dig route right behind those guys. But again, just another example of King understanding, not just the route concept, but situational awareness of where Wilson's probably going to try to go with this football. 3rd and 8, they got to get to the first down marker. You see him be really diligent about not getting too much depth. Once he gets at that first down marker, he understands that he doesn't need to go any further, kind of clicks, closes, and makes a nice pass breakup right there. Honestly, I think that he thinks that he probably should have had an interception here. You see the hands on the helmet. But nice job right there, avoiding a penalty, using that long arm to kind of get in there for the pass breakup. This is another really good rep right here. I think that just again, just the understanding his own coverage, passing guys off, and understanding where his eyes need to be. Nice red zone rep. I think that this would be what I would kind of call some version of cover three in the red zone. So he's working in the slot. They are going to be running a popular thing that you see in the red zone in the NFL, at the low red zone. You get this kind of slot fade from the number two receiver, and then this kind of what I would call a now slant kind of coming underneath. And it puts this guy in the slot in a tough position because he's going to kind of be in a little bit of a press coverage look. He's going to try to establish contact on that slot receiver and pass him off to the cornerback. But he also has another guy kind of coming into his zone. But you see King quickly recognize that, flip his hips, and then kind of drive on that low hip, low shoulder to make the pass break up. And, almost has an interception for his teammate right there. But again, just a really, really smart football player, man. And someone that I think is going to really help this defense. Just to kind of cover some of the things I think that, King may struggle with, or some of the weaknesses in his game. There aren't really a lot of them, but I think that King is definitely best suited as a zone coverage player. When you see him line up in man coverage, which wasn't a lot with the Texans just based on their scheme, he does struggle from time to time. One of the things that I saw kind of over and over on film, especially in man coverage, is that he can get a little grabby throughout the route. And this could be either the result of, sloppy technique, or, anytime a guy would have like a little bit of a step on him, or, he makes a mistake with his footwork. He's not the most twitchy or exceptional athlete in the world. So I feel like he kind of panics a little bit sometimes. This is a good example. You can kind of see it from the end zone angle. He's going to try to do what I call a slingshot move. So this kind of slot receiver right here, this is a short yardage play, and they're going to go play action with this over route. This slot receiver beats him inside with outside leverage. And then once he kind of goes upfield, you see how King has both hands kind of on the jersey. And what he's trying to do is, okay, the receiver is taking an inside release. He's probably going to be running some type of inside in breaker over route. He's trying to get back towards the inside leverage. This slingshot move right here is fine with the hands on the hip, but you'll see a lot of veteran cornerbacks really get away with this. But once this shoulder turns, so you see how number 9, his shoulders are actually turned towards the right sideline, that's an automatic giveaway for the officials to understand, like, all right, he's being held or turned. And you see this flag at the bottom of the screen right now. There was also a flag on the other side of the field. So actually both officials kind of caught him with that one. So just, and like I mentioned, King does have some versatility. He can play outside cornerback, but I much prefer him in the slot. And I think when you get him on the outside and ask him to play kind of man-to-man coverage, I just don't think that's the best use of his skill set. I doubt that it's going to come to that in Pittsburgh. They have more outside corners. They kind of needed somebody to plug and play in the slot. So just an example right here with Alec Pierce. They're kind of playing some man coverage. Looks like some man free maybe. King kind of gets beat inside leverage. And, he's in phase right here. He's in pretty good position, kind of on that upfield shoulder, protecting the deep ball, but just doesn't really feel this kind of in breaker coming in. And then guys, kind of the twitchier guys, faster guys, I'm not sure that I would classify Pierce as overly twitchy, but some of the more athletic guys can kind of create some separation at the break point like this. You see how he's kind of got those yard or 2 yards of separation right there, making for a pretty easy throw for Matt Ryan over the middle of the field. So overall, though, just my thoughts on King and kind of, how he's going to fit into this defense, man. I think that they should really just plug and play him in the slot, man, especially early downs. He can play the run for you. He's tough. He's physical. He's smart. He's got a lot of experience, even since being drafted in the 5th round, I feel like he's outplayed a lot of people's expectations. King was a guy that I liked coming out of Iowa for a lot of the same reasons that you really see on tape, man. He's the same player that he was as a college prospect, has some versatility to him. But like I said, I really prefer him, in the slot. I think the one question that I have with King is kind of similar questions that we had to some of the other corners already on the roster. Is the Steelers play a lot of man coverage on 3rd down, like the rest of the league. You see more single high shells. is King going to be able to hold up, at this stage of his career, even though he's only 29 years old? Is he going to be able to hold up in those man-to-man situations, on third and long, third and medium, stuff like that? But, we had those same questions about Chandon Sullivan, Elijah Riley. So it's going to be up to one of those guys to kind of prove themselves. But overall, I really like the move from Omar Khan. I don't know if the contract numbers are out yet, but I think it's going to be pretty cheap, 1-year deal. So overall, really like the move. Think he adds a lot to this group. Playmaker, definitely someone that I just genuinely enjoy watching. I enjoy watching, these smaller guys that are willing to do whatever it takes to, get the dub. So I hope you guys like the video. Again, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like the video if you will. Drop me a comment. Let me know what y'all think of the signing of Desmond King. Let me know what y'all thought of the video, all that good stuff. I will check you guys later. Peace and love.